Recording? Does it say it's recording? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right, everyone. Let's get ready to rumble. Okay. So, hello, everyone. Welcome to the first foundational meeting. We had one on Wednesday, but for all intents and purposes, this is the first. So, welcome to WUAC, Warren Undergraduate Aerospace Club, and welcome to the final frontier. This is the next chapter in terms of business and beyond, and you are taking the first step in an endless in a place of endless possibility. So cool. Yeah. So the agenda for today is first we'll talk about WAC and aerospace, like overview, like industry and stuff, and why we're excited about it, why we want to get into it. And then the second is the steps for club recognition, which we need to get actually the Wharton name. So technically I said it and I wasn't supposed to. So we're technically, as of now, W period undergraduate aerospace club, which that's why we're doing club recognition steps. And then third is we like just general feedback, and I want to hear like what you guys see this club being, because I have it in my head, but I love to hear from you guys. So yeah. So the first things first, aerospace. Aerospace is broad. It involves like space and like aviation and kind of defense. So oftentimes aerospace and defense are kind of merged. But in terms of what the club will be looking at, I mean, we might go into some defense things sometimes, but that's kind of a whole separate thing. I kind of want to stay out of that, but I'm open to what you guys want to see. But in terms of space specifically, some analysts say, especially one from Merrill Lynch, says $1.4 trillion by 2030, which in terms of growth, that's absolutely insane. We haven't seen that type of growth since like the railroad. So, and like getting in on this at this point is, once we are out of college in 4 years, 3 years, 2 years, it's going to be like the market's going to be absolutely insane. And that also has increased an exponential increase in private investment. And that's leading to a lot of startups. So, this is a basic framework for what the aerospace industry looks like now. They don't even have all the startups, but as of now, the biggest thing right now is probably like small satellite launch company startups. But like, yeah, that's like in terms of what the club could do, we could possibly like venture into the idea of like consulting for those startups and looking at where there's possible areas where you can get into business. So cool. Yeah, so the space industry specifically is catching eyes. Morgan Stanley, Goldman Sachs, Deloitte, all those guys. Goldman Sachs actually produced like an investment report. It's like 100 pages long. I'll link it into the Slack after this. I'm thinking that'll kind of be our Bible, because it really goes over to a lot of the, Goldman Sachs is its own thing. Like we're all in aerospace, so we respect, like we're hyper focused in one division, but the fact that Goldman Sachs like took notice to it and took all the time to like do the research and the numbers and stuff, I think we can really use that as an asset to like look at what we can do with the aerospace in terms of business. So yeah, so I'll link the Bible after this. It's problematic thinking of it as the Bible because most people in Wharton worship Goldman Sachs, but there's some parallelism there. Yeah, so one of the like links that we have to the aerospace industry is through the Wharton aerospace community. And I kind of talked about this a little bit in like the forums and on the website. So Wharton Aerospace is an MBA community, MBA alumni of nearly 1,000 members, and they are like chief heads of aerospace companies. Like I went to a networking session a couple of weeks ago. There were guys from Lockheed Martin, Boeing, Northrop Grumman. They were the vice presidents, directors. Peter Hughes is in it. He's the chief technologist at NASA. So these are big players, and I think we can really leverage this. And because the aerospace companies are looking for not just engineers, but engineers are important, but they're also looking for business talents like us. Yeah. So another aspect that I think WAC will really supplement is PAC. So WAC is meant to be a supplement and a partner to PAC. So we're not undermining them in any way. In fact, we hope to create an experience and knowledge that PAC can offer, but also PAC offers an experience and knowledge that we can offer. So they really focus on the technical side, which is super important in this industry because it is a technical industry, and I'm not trying to say it's not. So, go over to PAC, learn how to be an engineer, learn how to think like an engineer. It's super important. And we'll focus on, business in that sphere. So, yeah, PAC is a friend. And that's actually initially why we were going to create this club is to help out PAC. So that leaves us with WAC. And it is the W Undergraduate Aerospace Club. So where do we fit in? Basically what I said, where we fit in. At Wharton, there's no other clubs like us except for the Wharton Aerospace Community, which is an alumni club and doesn't technically count. So I think it could really be an interesting intersection that we explore. So basically, what I see WAC being is we're opening a highly technical industry through the universal business sphere. So applying business principles that we can use in order to open up this sphere that often seems out of touch or off limits to people like business majors and things because Elon Musk was talking about it. He doesn't like MBAs, right? Because they think too much like MBAs, and he likes to most aerospace companies like to push from the inside to get people like engineers. Yeah. So what we're trying to do is kind of train, inspire a passion, and really get people into aerospace. And we're going to do that three ways. One is experience, and the experience that I think we might get is consulting, possibly, like I said before, with small satellite companies, startups, space startups. Like there's tons, and no way they can all survive. So I think, whether or not they use our consulting or information that we give them is up to them. But I think it could be really interesting for us. Another thing would be case competitions. So we're looking at cash prizes, team building exercises, like just friendly competition where we kind of get to use our knowledge. And it's always fun to do competitions like that. And it also is an added plus that you get money. And one of the ways we could do these case competitions is with Wharton Aerospace Community, who has connections. Ellen Chang, who's fantastic. She was actually looking at a thing with MasterCard and the future of space financing, stuff like that, space transactions. So yeah. And number two would be connections. So Wharton Aerospace puts on a Wharton Aerospace Venture and Summit every year. So I think, being in this club, it can give you a leg up, get to that place or go to those summits and ventures and really talk to industry leaders and everything. And the second aspect of the connections would be field trips, which I think it would be awesome to just like go tour factories and like watch a rocket launch. So that's one of the things when we get money. I don't foresee us needing a lot of money right now, but when we get money, I think we might spend it on a few things like sending people to watch Starship, do the trial periods or test runs and stuff like that. And third is knowledge. One aspect that I think will really be actionable is a curated newsletter that we'll work on. We'll kind of bring together articles, talk about things together, get a really good idea of where the aerospace industry is right now and stay knowledgeable on it and see where it's heading in the future. And then another thing could be like case studies from like what happens in NASA and stuff. Like NASA, there's a lot of things that happen. Like their supply chain is super complex. They have a bunch of contractors and looking at why the space shuttle, like the economics of the space shuttle or something, I think that could be super interesting and we can learn a lot from it. So I think applying those case studies could be a good way to kind of frame our minds into the set of the aerospace industry and how the management has been dealing with things like that and really look at what we could do better or what we could do the same, because you can learn a lot from the past. So I think the overarching step is that I want this club to be very actionable. I want people to be engaged. I don't want members to just like have to go and be like, I don't know. I want to do things. I want everyone to be able to do things and learn and, because aerospace or space in general is just super awesome. And you might be asking, why aerospace? So why not just space? Because we're kind of space focused. Because aerospace, there are companies like in the aviation industry, like Boom Supersonic, if you look it up, They're super cool. Also Wharton Aerospace, like um, since we're kind of like a subsidiary of them, I figured we might as well have the aerospace name, and it kind of is a overarching thing. So it kind of opens our interests up in case we want to fledge out a little bit. So that being said, I think the main goal is just to expand the aerospace presence at Penn. In the future, I kind of foresee like Penn being like a beacon or like a hub of this next frontier. That could be pretty cool, pretty advantageous for Penn as well. And I think it would be nice for like Wharton Aerospace Club or W Undergraduate Aerospace Club to kind of push them forward. And I think it could be really interesting that we kind of push them. PAC was like the first, and then we came, and then like everything went crazy. And an indication of that is actually if you look the MBA department or Wharton MBA, there's actually a class on space. It's called New Space Age. It's taught by Professor Kapoor, and it is very cool. They got Garrett Reisman on the first day of class to speak to them, which is pretty crazy if you know who Garrett Reisman is. Yeah, so that leads us to recognition. So if you like all of what we're saying, we need to be recognized. And that means we need to be recognized by Wharton Council, and we need the Wharton name on our club because it does hold a certain weight and it does have business aspects. That being said, we are not Wharton exclusive, nor do I want to be, nor do I want to be very selective. I kind of want to be like not perpetuate the stereotype of Wharton clubs, kind of be a different type of club. That being said, we need 25 members. We're doing currently on the email list, we have 34 people. It's not very active. Our Slack is also not very active, but I think we can really curb that up. Slack, there's currently 17 members. I'm not really sure the percentage of Wharton, but if you guys know any Wharton people who would be interested, that we kind of need them, which is good and bad. Yeah. So also we need a club constitution. We have a couple of people who are experienced in that. We might kind of delegate the task in terms of that. With the club's constitution, I don't foresee it being a big problem, but that's another thing. And then a helpful addition, like to be recognized, which I don't foresee being a problem because we're such a niche and there's nothing else in Warren like us, is like a faculty advisor. I mentioned Professor Kapoor before. I had a meeting with him on Tuesday. He seemed very willing and open to help us. He might be a faculty advisor, especially because it's kind of just a figurehead position. But once we have big events and stuff, he can help moderate and things like that. And another thing is sponsors. I think it could be a really easy sell because we're technically like the first. I don't want to say first, but like we're kind of pushing forward. We're this new club that's super cool. At least I think it's super cool. A lot of people think space is super cool, so it's an easy sell. So I think sponsors could be an interesting thing to look to. So we would definitely need like a sponsorship executive board. And then another thing is like the executive board. We'll probably once we have a lot of members. I mean, we have a good amount now. Especially if we form an executive board, it'll be like submit an application. I don't want it to be super like stressful and stuff, but like just show like who you are and like what you're willing to do. And by being here, you guys are all like showing that. So yeah. And then once we get trial period recognition, we stay in that for a year, and then after that, we're a fully recognized club. That being said, I don't really foresee us needing a lot of Wharton Council's help. I just want we just need the Wharton name, and after that, because Wharton Aerospace is such a big club, like their budget is so insane, they have so much money. I think they could really be an asset to us and kind of leverage what they have and kind of leverage what PAC has and move together and kind of work as much of an independent entity as we can. So, and that leaves us with what is your vision? I spoke a lot in a very long time. Do you guys have anything that you want to say? Where you see the club being, positions that might be helpful, people that might be helpful. The main thing right now is just people, people, people. We need people. I'm thinking of ways to recruit people. I put this meeting on the Facebook. Some of you might have seen it from there. Put it on the group me, but after that, it's kind of difficult. We have certain ideas where we might go to classes, like we email a professor, ask if we can like spend like the first 5 minutes of class plugging this club and see if we get members from there. That's an interesting thing, especially like depends on what class. Kind of stressful, but I'm okay with it if it means we get members. So yeah. So what are you guys thinking?
I mean, this is just my experience, but at the start of the last semester, I was really interested in kind of the Penn Aerospace Club originally. I looked more into it and realized it was very science-based, and I'm not a very big science person. So I'm really glad you guys formed this club. I just joined from the group me. And I do think that although it is fairly niche, I feel like a lot of people would be interested in joining if they just saw that there was such a club. And I don't know, I just look forward to working with you guys.
Thank you, Rona. We'll go down the line. Helen, what do you think?
I think this is the coolest thing. I am more sciencey. I'm a mechanical engineer, but I totally could see this getting a lot of momentum. Like if people started to actually know what it was, I could see it being something that a lot of people are really interested in. So I'm excited to be here.
Excited to have you. Mihir, how do you say your name?
Yeah, Mahir.
Mihir, nice.
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. I saw the email from the like the pack listserv,
Okay.
and I was like, this is some pretty interesting stuff. Because I was thinking about it like, well, with like SpaceX and everything, like
Right.
they were pretty ahead of their time. So this is gonna be pretty cool.
Wyatt.
Yeah, I'm definitely in the same boat as Rona. I've always been super interested in space and sort of like aerospace technology, but I'm in Wharton, so a lot more business experience. But this is for me, it's like a great way of being able to explore that sort of passion without having to learn all the technical expertise.
Ning, what are you thinking?
Like me, I think half of us here are mechanical engineers. But also at the same time, I'm also in Wharton, but I don't really know much about it. But I'm just really interested in like how this industry works, and I guess in the business field.
Right. Yeah, I was actually in a separate, I was thinking in college, like, or when I was applying to college, like I was going to be a mechanical engineer, like the summer before I went to engineering camp and stuff. So, that's a side of me that I kind of want to use, and I joined PAC too. And I think being in the technical industry like aerospace, you can kind of use that passion, for everything, and kind of merge it together and push it forward.
Yeah, and I definitely think like a lot of people in PAC would be interested in this club because like a lot of them are also like kind of want to be on the operations side of PAC.
Right. Yeah, I'm in operations. So.
Wait, which sub team are you guys?
What do you mean sub team?
Like under PAC, like Rocket or? Because
I'm in operations.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but actually, WUAC was supposed to be like a division of PAC and like a branch, but technically, because we want to be recognized by Wharton Council, we can't like connect it because PAC is actually it's 3 teams in one, so they get funding for only one club, which is just so crazy because like it's it's aerospace, like how like they have a balloon, rocket, and aircraft, but they all have to share the same budget, and it's that's why kind of I was thinking about creating this kind of gets funding, but also we can be still a supplement for them. So Bryce, what's happening with you?
Yeah, like Helen and Mahir, I'm also in mechanical engineering, and I've been super interested in like aero and space and all that, and I guess it's really cool to me to see not only like the super complex techie, mathy, physicsy side of it, but also just like how the whole industry works and that whole part of it. And I think it's a super sort of cool niche thing that definitely a lot of people, if they knew about it, I think would really like.
Nice. Melissa, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, like I relate with everyone else here. I'm not really a sciencey, mathy kind of person. The only thing is like I'm not a Wharton student either. Like I'm in the college, so I guess I'm just like here infiltrating Wharton Club.
Well, if you were paying attention to my presentation,
I know, but it's like,
I guess
but it's still
I
like
said that it's a club for everyone, and we're not really engaging in the Wharton stereotypes.
Yeah. Anyway, what was I gonna say? Oh, right. So like aerospace, like I can't say I'm like deeply passionate about it, but you sold it pretty well. Like it does sound like it has a pretty good outlook. So I'm interested to work with everyone and learn more about it.
Cool. For so you're aware, I know Melissa, so I'm not being rude. But I mean, it's not rude if I know her. So yeah. So kind of in terms of like what I kind of want to know. Yeah, I kind of want to know what really. So based off of what you guys were saying, what drew you here? It's the nicheness, the space aspect, the hybrid of the two, which could be really interesting. How's branding? Was the branding exciting? Can we update that? How do we get people excited about it like you guys are?
The gifts were really nice. The whole like intro with the globe was good, and then the WUAC sign coming out, I thought that was very, very well
felt
made.
very efficient.
I don't know how anyone would ever be like, do you do like graphic design or something? Because that was
It's
amazing.
all on PowerPoint, to be honest. Like I just stitched a bunch of videos I got off of YouTube. It's pretty easy, so yeah. I'm glad you guys liked it, because that's kind of what I was going for, because Star Wars, whenever you see them go into hyperspace or something, that's probably where my like space passion kind of emerged, from Star Wars. And kind of whenever I hear the Star Wars like theme, like I get chills. So it's kind of trying to replicate that in terms of the coolness of it. A lot of people think it's nerdy, but I think it's also cool, because literally we're on the merge of like getting to that level of just next level humanity, like
Type 1, baby.
being
Type 1. Let's
yeah,
go.
being a multiplanetary species, like going places, asteroid mining. They say the next trillionaire is going to be from asteroid mining. So, joining a Wharton club, you could be the next trillionaire, So, right.
How long have you been like when did you get this idea?
So it was all like probably September when I joined PAC, because PAC is kind of, I love PAC. It's kind of its own right. Like I saw some like branding issues and everything, and like the coolness of it. Like I was immediately drawn to PAC because it's so cool, and I love aerospace. But I also think that there's potential to kind of brand it as super cool and get a lot of people into it. And like Rocket Team is super exclusive. Like a lot of people apply to Rocket Team, and it's super selective. But I think, yeah. So I thought of it as like Wharton doesn't have an aerospace club. Wharton has an agribusiness club, agriculture, like And I also saw the insights and the analysts and the analyzations that it's going to be a $1.4 trillion economy in 10 years or 9 years now, which is, that's insane. And it's insane that Wharton kind of hasn't looked at it. Now we've looked at it. We have a course. I've talked to Professor Kapoor. We could, if there's enough of an interest, if this club shows enough of an interest, there could be an undergraduate course pretty soon. So, it's kind of, we're putting our foot in the door, and we're opening up things to kind of push people forward in this industry and kind of push Wharton ahead in terms of the next frontier of business. Melissa, what is your question?
It's not a question. I was just gonna answer like one of your questions before on like the vision thing. So like the reason that I'm like kind of iffy about this, well, about aerospace in general, is because it is, as you said, like a very technical field.
Right.
And I'm not really a sciencey person. And I feel like a lot of Wharton students are kind of like, based on like everyone who has talked so far, like Wharton students are also not very sciencey, at least like the majority of them. So if you're going to sell like this club to the rest of Wharton and get more members, I think it's like emphasizing the point that it's like not technical, and it's just like Wharton skills as business, finance, whatever, just like.
So I think that's kind of what I was thinking about. The reason that our Goldman Sachs book will be our Bible is because that's the language of Wharton. So if we look at all the numbers, keep marketing the numbers, keep marketing the projections and stuff, I think we could really get people, because Wharton kids are kind of, actually, I don't even want to say Wharton kids, because everyone's interested in kind of, that's why we're kind of in college to kind of push our careers forward. And it's good to get passionate people like us, but it's also good to get like people that we can get them into the passion and push the space forward, because the more people we have in space, the more people knowing about these things, the more people kind of working with these things, the faster humanity can move forward in terms of the next frontier.
Honestly, I think like once like this, like I think if we like reach a lot of people, I think a lot of people would be interested. Honestly, if you offer like free food at every meeting, it'd
That
be
would help. Yeah, right.
yeah.
That goes back to our budget thing.
No, but like if it's a virtual meeting, you can promise it, and you know.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking about the Penn disorientation guide, or that was, they kind of did like a cool social media launch thing. I think in terms of getting hype, that could be an interesting thing to pursue.
Can we make like an Instagram or something?
Yeah. So in terms of actionable steps after this meeting, kind of what we could work on after, we'd need a social media head. I made a Facebook page, but that's kind of, I can't have Wharton on the name right now, so it's or it's Business Undergraduate Aerospace Club, something like that, just to hold the name. It's a good idea to get Instagram domain name that looks professional. No,
Sorry.
avoid periods, underscores, numbers, everything like that. So,
Do we need to wait a year before we get the word Wharton, or do we just need?
no. So as soon as we have 25 members, 50% of which have to be Wharton, and an executive board, which 60% have to be Wharton, we can apply for trial period recognition. It's a whole bureaucracy process. I'm not really sure how it works, but after that, we're recognized by trial period, and we can use the Wharton name.
What percentage of Wharton people do we have now? Do you know by chance?
I can look at the Slack. If I had to guess, I would say 35 to 40%.
Okay.
Also, just for Slack, I was trying to join, but it says the invitation expired.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Ethan, the Slack link expires in 30 days.
Has it been 30 days?
So you have to update it every
It has not been 30
I
days.
think I just got today in the email.
Yeah. Well, that's embarrassing.
It happens to all of us.
I feel like if we hit up as many M&T kids as possible, or like dual engineering and Wharton degree kids, I think they'd be interested.
Yeah, I can definitely ask that in the group chat. They might be interested. Yeah.
Yeah. So Amanda Zhang, she came.
Yeah, I texted her. I was like, you have to join.
Yeah. That's what Amanda said. Yeah, Amanda's in M&T. And M&T is good. But we also don't want to tailor exclusively to them. So it's important to get everyone. In terms of getting board or members initially, like of course M&T kids want to be it, or this is kind of their cup of tea. So,
So like, I could see like, isn't LSM the management and like sciences one in the college? I feel like that could be a crossover too. 'Cause that's kind of
I think that's more
science.
biology, though.
Yeah.
Biology. Okay.
Yeah, also just that I agree with all the points until now. I also think like if we want to get more people on, I think something we could do is like keep the emphasis on space, but also add some portion of like I get corporate aviation. Not that that's my personal interest, but I think that would get a lot of people on board.
That's another thing why I was kind of pushing. Here, I'll give us the Slack invite. But in terms of pushing what we have with the undergrad or the MBA community is the networking sessions and everything, and those are the Wharton Aerospace relies or pushes heavily towards. There's actually a lot of venture funds as well, like analysts, tech analysts, people who like angel fund investors and stuff, but also there's a lot of people like Boeing, Northrop Grumman who focus normally on aerospace and defense. Like they kind of merge into space, but to be honest, they kind of suck at it compared to SpaceX and Blue Origin. But yeah, so that's kind of why I did it. But if you guys can think of better ways to kind of market the networking connections that we have in terms of the aviation industry, then by all means. Does that link that I just sent work? I mean, I imagine it would. What were you saying?
I don't know if you've also considered like sending it out to like any of Penn's things like career services, if they could send out like
right.
Do like curve emails and stuff.
Yeah, thanks for reminding. Yeah, so I think we might be able to get a Daily Pennsylvanian article, and not really sure how many people read that, to be honest, but their
I think a
Instagram
lot
has
of
a lot of
people.
followers, right? So
Or get
if you're-
UPenn memes.
yeah,
Advertise
which
us on
one? The
story.
pen memes or the UPenn memes?
Both of
I
them.
don't know.
Yeah, I don't. That's kind of if we market ourselves on those pages, though, that's kind of makes us. I don't know.
Yeah, seem less credible.
Yeah, and it's kind of weird to use those pages, to be honest. Like whenever I see people promoting themselves on meme pages, kind of just like I'm here for the memes, not for promotions. So I think Daily Pennsylvania is a better outlet to do that. So that's in terms of delegating tasks. If anyone, I can do it different ways. So there's 17 people in the Slack right now. I'll probably reach out to most of the people in it just to get people talk everything, and to see kind of where they see their commitment being. Your guys' commitment levels can be anything you want. Depending on your commitment levels will be evaluated in the executive board. It sounds so official, the executive board, but you can say that you're an executive board member of this club, and it has the potential to be kind of a big player in terms of the Penn community. So I think being on the executive board would be a pretty big deal. So it still says expired. Bruh.
That's weird because it worked for me when I got it on my computer.
When I put it in an incognito tab, it looks like it's working. So I think it might be, try refreshing your cookies, like clear all your cookies out of your like Chrome tab.
Try
from the
this one
last-
now. I think it's a new one. Or no, it's the same one.
I could try.
Yeah, I would say try clearing like your cookies or like autofill data or something. It might be why it's not working for you.
Yeah, that happened to the JMS Slack link. And I was just like, why did that happen? You guys are unprofessional. Now I'm not professional. Cool. So yeah, I guess I'll be in touch. Your commitment levels can be whatever you feel. I'm not really sure if I'll reach out to every single person. That's kind of a big ordeal. So I think it's just moving forward with the Constitution, the recruiting club members, and then after that we can be recognized. We'll be on the Wharton centralized application. So by the fall of next year, we'll have all the freshmen, all the people. And I think once we are on a formal group, we're on Penn clubs right now, but once we're on the formal once we're on the formal Wharton groups tab, when Wharton students go through, when everyone goes through and sees Penn clubs and then Wharton undergraduate aerospace club, and on the Wharton groups they see Wharton undergraduate aerospace club, they'll be like, whoa, and we'll be like, SpaceX, Blue Origin, NASA, it's the coolest companies on the world. You want to work for them? Join us. So
Get Elon Musk to talk to us.
right, actually, that's part of the reason I thought about this club. The end goal in the 4 years I'll be here, because I'm only a freshman, is by the end of this, I will get Elon Musk to speak at the university, because that's kind of why we're being the counterculture in a way, because Elon Musk is the counterculture, and you can think of him what you want, but the goal is to kind of, we're the counter culture of business and the counter of everything. So I think it'd be interesting to get Elon Musk here. I think there is a way, and we will find it. So yeah. So that's a good way to end it.
We could reach out to him through the alumni network or something.
Right. Or I was thinking about giving him an award or something. He wouldn't really accept because he kind of hates Wharton, to be honest. But I'm not sure if he would accept a entrepreneurship award, but if we created some aerospace whatever thing, like the space prize or whatever, the Wharton Space Prize, that would be pretty sick.
Was he not in Wharton? What was he in?
He has a dual degree, one in physics, one in Wharton. So he was in College of Arts and Sciences and in Wharton.
Oh, but he's
His
in
I forget what his concentration was, but
I'm looking at his Wikipedia page.
yeah. Does the link work now?
No, it's still the same link though. Wait, never mind. But no, it didn't work. I'll try it again.
I went on the Slack, hit like copy link, or like invite people, and then the link copy link button underneath that.
It just says invitation expired. Looks like you're trying to accept the invitation, but the link was deactivated.
I can email you the link. What's your email?
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
Yeah. Okay. So
That's kind of weird because the link that I sent, like I just made, or at least it just came up when I clicked copy invite link. So
right.
Yeah,
I don't know why it still wouldn't be working.
Yeah, I'm not sure either because I tried incognito as well.
Cool. So yeah, in terms of actionables, I'll be in touch. Club consultation member, whatever. We'll probably have a meeting soon. We'll probably formalize some things that we can do in terms of what your guys' roles will be. The co-founder or whatever. Fortunately, you guys. I don't know actually. Would you be technically co-founders? But I don't know. But our co-founder is also Jacob Clayton. He is the director of Penn Aerospace Club, and it's go through him. He's currently working at NVIDIA on an internship, so he can't be here. But he's a pretty cool guy. You'll probably meet him soon. Yeah, so he's working on a lot of this with me. So just thought I'd mention him. Thank you guys for coming. Stay excited. This is really going to be really cool. Trying to kind of emphasize the excitement of this because if once we lose that, we might lose the appeal. But no, we can't lose the appeal because it's literally the coolest thing ever. So I'll end with that. 4 years, we'll get Elon Musk, and after that, we'll all have jobs at whatever space companies we want because we are founding members of this club.
We could start our own company.
We can start our own company, asteroid mining, and we will be the first trillionaires in history.
Hell yeah.
On that. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Have a great weekend.
Thank you.